Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. So, I have a confession to make, and I hope that once I make this confession, you guys will not judge me. I am a major nerd, and I'm a word nerd at that. So, I know most of you roll your eyes when you see Facebook and Instagram ads. I love them because I love reading the copy, and sometimes the copy is incredibly good and it's hilarious. There are times where the copy is hilariously bad, but again, I love looking at these ads. So I was looking at one the other day, and the headline for it was, "This one trick will help you attract the man of your dreams in a matter of seconds." And I saw this and I'm like, I wonder what they're talking about here. So I actually clicked on the ad and I burst out laughing when I saw what this ad was about. Apparently, there is a coach out there who has started this program that claims that there are these secret text messaging formulas that if you send certain texts to the man that you want to be with, he will just be like putty in your hands and he'll instantly fall in love with you. And I'm not necessarily going to slam that because I haven't tried it myself, so I don't know if it works. I don't know anyone else who's tried it. And I'm not going to slam women who buy this because I understand the temptation. And when you think about it, a text message is the modern day love letter, you know? And love letters have been popular for thousands of years. It is how Shakespeare became famous. It is how the book, the Song of Solomon in the Bible, has been used in pop culture ever since the Bible was written. And for those of you who don't know the book, Song of Solomon, if you have not read the Bible, Song of Solomon is this book with a man and his beloved talking about how much they love each other. And it's supposed to be representative of God's love for the church. And if you grew up in church, but you haven't been in a little while, Song of Solomon is that book that made you giggle when you were like in 5th grade and 6th grade because it was all a love story, and it's the book that had like the word breast in it and things like that. So, of course, you know, young kids, preteens, teenagers got their hee-hees out of it. And if you are an adult and you actively go to church, then you know Song of Solomon as that book that preachers avoid like the plague, and they never do sermons on because, of course, in the church we are not allowed to talk about love and sex unless it is telling women to keep their legs closed, to not even look at a man over in the next pew for fear of being seen as a Jezebel, and also to just sit and wait patiently and take no action and hope that her Boaz shows up sometime before retirement. And if I offended anyone by saying that, I would repent, but I'm a preacher's daughter, so I know that you don't repent unless you mean it. So anyways, love letters, very popular. Text messages are just the modern form of it. So I could see the temptation to use text messages and to think that that is instantly going to attract the man of your dreams. I have a couple of problems with that though. You know, it may work. You may be able to attract this man that you have a crush on or whatever, but it's not going to be sustainable. And that is really what you want. You don't want some man to just like you and take you out on a date. You want to form a sustainable relationship. You want to be with someone who the two of you are going to grow together, and the two of you are going to have a relationship that leads to marriage. Hey Asia, hope you're having a great Wednesday. So that is my problem with this. And again, I'm going to nerd out for just a second, but this whole idea of having a text message and using it to attract your man and to make him fall in love with you, it reminded me of this book called Cyrano de Bergerac. It is actually a play. It's released late 1800s, I believe. And I'm dating myself here, and today is actually my birthday. So if you grew up in the 90s, you may be familiar with a TV show called Wishbone. And that was actually my first introduction to this play because Wishbone was all about introducing kids to classic books. So again, Cyrano is this soldier in the French army, and he is in love with this woman named Roxanne. And Roxanne is apparently incredibly beautiful. Asia's saying happy birthday. Thank you so much. So Roxanne is incredibly beautiful, and Cyrano gets this chance to meet with her. And she's telling him about how she has fallen in love. And he gets really excited, right? Because he's like, obviously she's in love with me. Not so much. Turns out that Roxanne is in love with this man named Christian, who is also a soldier. And Cyrano and Christian meet. There's actually a bit of a fight, but they become buddies. And they work on this plan to help Christian get Roxanne. Because the thing is, Cyrano has this big, huge nose. And he thinks that because his nose is so big, there's no way Roxanne is ever going to fall in love with him. Christian thinks that he's not very smart and not very good with words. So he thinks that he's never going to be able to have an intelligent conversation with Roxanne. So they come up with this plan where Cyrano writes these love letters and pretends that Christian has sent them. It works. Roxanne falls completely in love with Christian because of the love letters, but this book does not have a happy ending at all. At one point, Christian decides that he can't handle having these love letters come from Cyrano and having Roxanne think that he's the one writing them. So he tries to impress her with his own words, and he fails miserably. Then he tries to convince Cyrano that he should pursue Roxanne because, it's his words that made her fall in love. And eventually, Christian dies in war. Cyrano never confesses his love because he's convinced that, his big nose is going to keep her from ever falling in love with him. And neither of them gets the girl. Roxanne is left basically widowed and spends her last few years just sitting around. She locks herself up. She becomes a shut-in. And again, not a happy ending for anyone involved in the story. And the reason why I'm telling you that is because that is my problem with thinking that text messages are going to lead to the love of your life. They may help. They might. But the problem is, if you aren't right with yourself first, you are never going to have a relationship that is sustainable. You have to learn how to do the work on yourself first. You have to learn how to be comfortable in your own skin. You have to learn how to embody that cherished woman who knows what she wants, that cherished woman who has confronted her past, that cherished woman who has learned to set boundaries, who has learned to heal from all those past traumas, that cherished woman who confidently enters the world of dating, who confidently enters relationships because she knows who she is inside. And if you don't have that, the only thing that's going to happen is you may go on dates, you may get a boyfriend, but first of all, like attracts like. And hot messes attract hot messes. So what you will attract are men who are just as messed up as you are, because you haven't dealt with your issues, and you will attract men who also haven't dealt with their issues. And they will oftentimes be the same issues. Jealous people attract jealous people. People who have problems with infidelity often attract the same. Or people who have been hurt in the past by infidelity, they've been cheated on, will attract people who do that to them all over again. And also, if you have not gotten right with yourself first, if you have not dealt with the past, if you've not dealt with the confidence issues, you will never enjoy that relationship. And if that's the case, then what's the point in being in a relationship to begin with? I help the women that I work with go from pre-wife to the wife to enter relationships in which they are cherished, in which they are taken care of, they are supported. But there's no point in being in a relationship with a man who wants to cherish you and being with a man who wants to support you if you can't allow him because you're so busy being hurt by the past, or your self-esteem is so low that you never believe that any of it is real. You are constantly in relationships thinking, this is going to fail. There's no way that this is going to work out. There's no way that he could love me as much as he possibly says he does because I'm so messed up. You have to learn how to break from that first. And then, once you and I work together and I help you break through those blocks, and help you learn how to be more confident in yourself and be more confident in meeting people, then of course, yes, we can talk all about attraction and how to find a godly man who is going to cherish you. But again, it is a process. And that process, you need to start with your own mess, honestly. You need to start with your own issues and learning how to heal those before you try to bring someone else into it. So, again, I hope that you find this very helpful and that I've given you something to think about. And if you want to learn how to attract a godly husband and how to do it in 2019, feel free to send me a message, and I will also put the link to book a call with me and we can talk and see if we're a fit for each other. I'll put that in the description to this video. But in the meantime, just remember that before you get into a relationship with a man, the most important relationship that you need to work on is the one with yourself first. So I will talk to you guys later, and have a happy Wednesday. I am going to go celebrate my birthday, so bye.